are here, where your right hand is behind, and your left hand is in front, and you're in clockwise. Now we can go either way. From here, we could turn left and go into the underhand, which I don't know that you know yet, but it's the same thing that we were doing in overhand. Or you could go from that same position here into overhand. So if we looked at the overhand, because you've already done that, first of all, let's remind ourselves how to do the meltdown, the side plane meltdown. Your left hand will go away in front of you. Then it'll come around the body all the way to the away side behind you. And then back in front of you and behind you. And then you use that same hip opening movement that we're doing for the behind the back weave to accommodate letting the poi slip in that slot on the far side. You use this behind the back motion to get there. Right, so you're here on the away side behind the back. Then you come home and then just pass through the home position, and then you're back in front of your body on the away side. Then you pass through the home position, and then you're behind the back on the away side. Then back through to here, then back through to here. So you're basically living on the home side, and you're living on the away side, either in front of your body like this, or behind your body like this. So it's crossing in front, crossing behind, crossing in front, crossing behind, crossing in front, crossing behind, crossing in front, crossing behind. If you looked at it from this side, you'll notice when it's coming on my home side, I'm here, then I come through and I'm here. It doesn't actually stop here and do a full circle. You come through and cross, come through and cross, come through and cross. So it's a carry, then cross, carry, then cross, carry, then cross. The carry is when you bring it through its own side without doing the full rotation. The nice advantage of what you're doing here is this serves a double purpose of helping you practice your weave stuff because it's the same crossover behind your back. So the right hand does the same thing, right? You cross in front, and then you carry, and then you cross behind. So cross in front, carry it through, cross behind, carry it back to the home, carry it back through the home, behind, home, through the front, home, behind, home, to the front. And your right hand is probably going to feel easier than your left hand. To put it together, you can start like this in your split time. And then let's do the harder one first, which is crossing your left behind and your right in front. So this is one position. And then this is the other position. And then you just, all you do is just switch between them. All you do is. And that's the side plane overhand meltdown at the waist. Then the full transition, if you were here in your clockwise Hipreel, you turn, and what I did was when the right hand was behind, I turned to the right. As I turned to the right, I enter into it by crossing the right one behind. And then you're there, and then you'll be able to use that to do this. In the Hipreel, I would say I'm using a regular old V stance, so the feet are like this in front of me. And then what I do is I turn my right foot here, and I'm coming into a T stance because that's just what I like. But what you do will depend on what you're ending up in afterwards. But I will say, for me, and maybe that's just because I have big hips and an ass, it's easier for me to get into the behind the back weave when my feet are closer together. So my particular turn has my feet almost like lined up in front of each other as opposed to wide. And I feel very compacted in my footwork here. It doesn't feel very spread out. So I'm rotating my right foot 90 degrees for sure, and I'm rotating my left foot at least 60 degrees more, but I would say all the way up to 90 degrees as well, and you could be standing side by side if that feels good. If you stand with one foot forward so that you're favoring one hip forward, it makes it harder when you're trying to get to the other side. So side by side may be the safest bet for how you put your feet. But let's do one hand at a time from the Hipreel. If you're here in your Hipreel, your left hand we're doing. When the left hand is on the front, we're going to turn to the right, and what I would do is the right foot you could just rotate and then step the left foot or slide the left foot forward. And as you do that, cross the left hand to the other side, and then boom, you're in your side plane meltdown with that left hand. So from the hip reel, left hand is in front, rotate foot, cross the left hand, and then go into your meltdown. We'll do it again, turn back into the hip reel, front to back, and not this one, but this next time, coming through, turn, cross, step the other foot, and then go into the meltdown. And then we'll do it one more time. Turn back to the hip reel, front to back, not this next time, but this next time now, cross, turn, and do your meltdown. And now let's do the right hand. So your front to back, and it's when the right hand is on the back, you're gonna turn the foot, and then, I think it's important when you turn to the right here, right? So from here, I turn my right foot, but I'm gonna step my left foot, and I think it's important when you turn here, the right foot you're gonna turn, I think it's important to step the left foot forward to get the right poi around the back of the butt more easily. Because if you don't, you're gonna be like this and trying to get your hand around your butt when your hip is this way is gonna be much harder because you're trying to get it behind the other side. You're here, and then when the right one's behind, so 3 and 2 and 1. Now this time, turn, step, cross behind, and in front. Then behind, then in front, and behind. And now turn back to your hip reel. Get ready, and 3, 2, 1. Turn, step, cross behind, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, and come back to your hip reel. Get ready, 3 and 2 and 1, and turn and step, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, and turn back to the hip reel. We'll do this last time. 3, 2, 1, turn, step, cross behind, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, and then turn back to hip reel. Now change hands. Let's do the left hand again. 3, 2, 1, turn, step, crossed in front, and then behind, and in front, and behind, and in front, and behind, and in front, behind. Turn back to the hip reel, and 3, 2, 1, turn, step, cross in front and behind, and in front and behind, and in front and behind, and in front, behind. Turn back to your hip reel, and 3, 2, 1, turn, cross in front, behind, and front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind. Turn back to your hip reel. Now both hands, let's try it. So we're in the clockwise hip reel, and it's 3, 2, 1, turn, step, and cross, and cross, and cross, and cross, and cross, and cross. Turn left, come back to your hip reel, and 3, 2, 1, and turn and step and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross. And we're going to turn back to the hip reel, and 3, 2, 1, turn, step, and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross. And we're going to turn back to the hip reel, and 3 and 2 and 1, and turn and step and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross. And one more time, back to the hip reel, last time, and 3, 2, 1, turn, step, and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross and cross. From here, I do think it's easier if you just take a beat to come back to both of them by your sides before going into the overhand weave. But it still will provide a great transition from something that you know comfortably, like your hip reel. And then even no matter how many beats of this you do, you can come back and then get into your behind the back weave from there.